Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Comic Book Nostalgia. I'm CB Nostalgia, and I thought we could do multiple updates on DC films. Well, as many of you know, there is absolute chaos going on over at Warner Bros. Discovery. Movies are being shuffled around or canceled, and all kinds of very painful reorganizational steps are taking place. Actually, some people are calling it mismanagement, but that is a different story. Now, I wanted to take a couple minutes to talk about what's going on with Batgirl, and a little bit of an expansion on Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom and Shazam Fury of the Gods. So first, let's kick off the DC Films update with Batgirl. Now, it really does seem that a cut of the Batgirl movie does still exist after all. Now, let's be clear, there are no current plans to release Batgirl in theaters or HBO Max, but the team over at The Hollywood Reporter is saying that there was a, quote, funeral screenings of the scrapped movie that are being held on the Warner Brothers lot for cast and a number of studio executives. Now, the sad news is, apparently after these screenings, the movie is, and I quote, to be locked away in a vault, either physical or digital, but sadly, there's a possibility the studio might even take much more drastic measures. Now, according to insiders reporting to The Hollywood Reporter, the Batgirl footage may actually be physically destroyed, meaning the film and all of that data will actually be deleted or literally burned. Now the report is saying that this is a, and I quote, way to demonstrate to the IRS that there will never be any revenue from the project, and thus it should be entitled to a full write-down immediately. Now, this is being disputed, but it does fall in line with what's going on at Warner Brothers, and we're going to talk about the financials in just a second. But if they don't delete it, there is a possibility that one day they release the film and pay the government back its tax liability. I don't really see that happening anytime soon, but it is something that could be on the future agenda. And this brings us to Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom and Fury of the Gods. Now, one of the Hollywood Reporter's own, Boris Kitt, dropped some tweets that are a really interesting revelation about what's going on with Warner Bros. Discovery. And it appears that the studio itself might be in major financial straits. Now, after he reported the movies were being moved from 2022 to 2023, his statement about that is quite interesting because he says, the move underscores what a financial mess Warner Bros. Discovery is, as the studio has only enough cash to release 2 movies from now to the end of the year. Let me repeat that. They only have enough cash to release 2 movies between now and the end of the year. This means Warner Bros. Discovery is in dire straits. Now, we've been hearing for a long time that Zaslav is looking for $3 billion, and that's the purpose for him making all of these cuts. But all the recent behavior has drove the market value of the company down billions of dollars in stock cost. So Warner Brothers is now officially backed into a corner, and they have all kinds of problems here. The idea that they have movies complete, paid for, and maybe even paying interest on loans, and they can't release them is utterly amazing, and does indicate potential problems with leadership at the top. Now, as the stock takes more hits, we're going to have to watch and see what happens. I'm really unsure how Warner Bros. Sustains this momentum, and I'm genuinely worried there could be even worse times ahead for the Hollywood classic studio. Saving cash does seem to be Warner Bros. Discovery's primary concern at the moment, and quite honestly, to me, this could mean more delays or cancellations to try to free up more money. The lack of cash does explain some of the decisions, like using stuff as a full tax write-off, but ultimately they're an entertainment company and they're going to have to release content that entertains people, and I'm not sure how they do it through cancellations. And now I think if Warner Brothers is not careful here, it could spell obvious massive changes down the road for DC Films. Should the company fall into bankruptcy, those properties could be sold off completely, and that would effectively take everything we've seen so far and throw it out the window. Imagine a situation where Paramount or Universal actually buys DC and takes over those properties. I really don't think they would keep any of the same cast, framework, or anything else associated with Warner Brothers in place. Now, I know many of you want all the DC Films news you can get, so make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss any updates. But until we know more, what do you guys think? How do you feel about Warner Brothers Discovery doing funeral screenings for Batgirl on the studio lot? And how do you feel that Warner Bros. Discovery only has enough cash to release 2 more movies before the end of the year? That's utterly breathtaking. Tell me what you think in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure you hit like, click subscribe, and if you don't ring that bell, you won't get any updates. Peace.